We are also planning to introduce a buyer-facing fee in the UK in early 2025. Over the past week, there's been a lot of change in the eBay and reselling world. Firstly, eBay announced that they had removed all fees from private seller accounts, and then that was quickly followed by Vinted Pro launching. There's been a lot of social media chatter about how people operate their businesses on eBay, whether that be using private accounts or business accounts. eBay may be switching people from private to business accounts. It's all been going on, right? Now, me as a business seller, in my last video, I briefly discussed how I thought that these changes in the fees on eBay are going to affect me. So, not going to address that again, that was in the last video, but there was a really interesting comment left by Martin S. And he said something along the lines of eBay are going to be introducing buyer fees in the UK in early 2025. Now, I've done a bit of digging into this. It looks like Martin might be right. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of press coverage about how eBay have removed seller fees. In fact, I was watching one of Ricky Lee's videos about this, and one of the adverts in the video was an eBay advert advertising just that. We've heard lots of statements about how this will also benefit business sellers as well by trying to get more people on the platform, so more people selling, will be more people shopping. Heard a lot of that type of stuff. Nothing about buyer fees. So I did a bit of Googling, and the first thing that came up was the eBay community pages, and there were lots of different threads on there regarding buyer facing fees. Scrolling through all of those, lots of ideas about how this might come about. Nothing really concrete to say that this was happening though. Not until I come across one particular post that discussed the recent eBay SEC filings. What's eBay SEC filings? I'll read this out to you now. So, SEC filings are formal documents that public companies, broker-dealers, and certain insiders are required to submit to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. So that is what the SEC is. These filings are made public and are used by investors to learn about companies they are considering for investment. And there's a certain type of SEC filing called an 8K. And an 8K filing, also known as a current report, is a mandatory form that publicly traded companies must file with the SEC to disclose material corporate events. What's material corporate event? Right, so it could be something to do with bankruptcy, change of directors, changes to fundamental business policies and practices. 8K filings are important for investors to have up-to-date information when making investment decisions. Look. Companies must file an 8K within 4 business days of a triggering event. Here we go. You can Google this as well, you can get on and you can find this Form 8K. This was published on the 1st of October. At the top it says United States Securities of Exchange Commission, eBay on the top. On October the 1st, eBay announced certain business plans internally with a letter to company employees from Jamie Iannone, its President and Chief Executive Officer, which is attached to this current report. Okay. Right, I've just scrolled down to the bottom. It looks like there's an email that's been sent to a team of people. It starts with, just want to share some exciting news just announced in the UK. So it looks like it's more of an information letter signed by Jamie at the bottom. Now look, I work for an international company as well, and I've seen this type of email go around my company. Whenever the guys at the top want to get information across about new strategies or new ideas, this is very typical. I wanted to share some exciting news just announced in the UK. Beginning today, eBay is removing selling fees for customer-to-customer sellers in the UK for domestic transactions across categories, excluding motors. We've heard all this in kind of the public press statements anyway. This follows the introduction of free selling pre-owned apparel categories in the UK earlier this year. Okay. Additionally, we are introducing significant enhancements to our UK customers, including the streamlined listing process, simple delivery, revamped local pickup experience, and enhanced wallet functionality through eBay Balance. Scroll through that next bit. This is where it gets interesting. We have a robust monetization roadmap to ensure these changes are good for both customers and our business overall. This includes value-added services like first-party advertising, financial services, new value proposition in shipping that we plan to scale in Q4. We are also planning to introduce a buyer-facing fee in the UK in early 2025 alongside a set of buyer enhancements that provide additional value. More they can share on future plans at Q3. So the letter carries on a little bit longer, and I tell you what, it's worth going on Google and just having a read for it yourself. But what was clear for me was that message. The intent is to introduce buyer-faced fees early 2025. But I couldn't find any indication of what that would look like. I went on Google, couldn't see anything. So of course, back on the eBay forums I go, and there's a few possible suggestions. The first one, right, was almost like an Amazon Prime thing, where buyers might be able to opt into a monthly membership and get certain perks for that membership. I can't see it. I can't see that happening. Because eBay have taken away the fees for so many sellers in the UK, they're going to need to have a strategy, mass strategy, that is going to be able to guarantee that they recoup that money. If it's an opt-in monthly scheme, that doesn't do that. And the more and more you kind of delve into it, the more and more it looks like a Vinted model is probably going to be the preferred option. That is, you agree your sale price, but then the buyer pays another percentage fee on top of that sale price. Vinted label this a buyer protection fee, but actually if you look at the timeline of all of this and how eBay is starting to roll all of this out, they're a big corporation, all of this will be calculated, all of this would have been done on purpose. So look, they introduced no fees for sellers at the start of October. They planned October, right, I think, because this is the time where people will be looking to start having a clear out. They're bringing stuff in from the garden because the weather's changed. They're filling up their garage and look, oh, actually, I haven't got any space. I need to clear stuff from the garage. They're putting all their summer clothes back in their wardrobe and getting out their winter clothes. Oh, I'm not going to wear this year. I want to sell it. November comes around, December comes around, people are thinking about Christmas, right? They want to either sell stuff to try and raise money to fund Christmas, or they want to sell stuff to declutter the house to make room for more stuff to come in at Christmas. Having a good slogan at this time now, 0% fees for private sellers. You can sell on my platform for free. It works, doesn't it? And then once they're hooked, once they're selling as a business seller, and I've been doing this for a while now, I know that October, November and December are my busiest months on eBay. I sell the most quantity and the stuff that I'm selling sells for the highest price. So if you're new to the platform and you're seeing all these sales coming for more money than you're expected, you're going to get hooked on you. Get yourself on the platform for a couple of months pinned in. New Year comes round, you could start maybe introducing a few buyer fees then. Well, hang on a minute, if you private sellers, your fees aren't going to change. You're not actually paying any fees. This is all going to be paid for by the buyer. For the business sellers, what are we going to do? We already pay fees on the stuff that we sell. Are we going to expect the buyer to pay fees on stuff they buy as well? How is that fundamentally going to change what we do? Look, I actually believe there's a lot of psychology goes on whenever you're buying and selling. I used to charge postage on all of my listings. So if I'm trying to sell something for a tenner, I'd put it up for £6 plus £4 postage. Because remember, eBay take fees off your postage. So I charge £4, eBay take the fees. That comes down to the price of a second-class parcel, for example. Well, I find actually now people are more likely to buy that listing if I list it up as £10 free postage. They've got that thing in their head that thinks, hang on a minute, they're charging a lot for postage. Maybe he's trying to rip me off. Well, hang on a minute, he's charging me £10 free postage. That's a better deal. Buyer's getting the exact same thing. And I think this applies to the buyer fee on Vinted as well. I do a little bit of shopping on Vinted, and if I buy something for a tenner and I see there's a buyer fee of an extra £1, it's an extra £1. And actually, look, I'm being protected by something. I'm getting something for that £1. I sold this on eBay this weekend. A ladies' leather super dry jacket. Sold that for £28.50. You know what? If there was a buyer fee on that rounded it up to 30, something like that, I think as a buyer might pay 30 for that. What about these though? I sold that Snorlax Build-A-Bear Pokemon card for £50. And I sold this Oliver Trackmaster train. That one went for £70. If you start adding a percentage fee onto that the buyer pays, what, £50 sale price plus £5 fee? 55 quid? £70 sale price plus £7? £77? I think for stuff like this, actually, you might find the seller needs to drop their price. I might have had to price that at £45 so that the fee would then take it to 50 all in. And that one maybe have to be mid-60s to take it up to that 70 mark. For these, I'm going to be losing out. So what's going to happen? Am I going to have to drop the price to then take the hit just because eBay have introduced this new fee? Or maybe actually eBay might reduce the fees that I already pay to counteract that. Or maybe eBay might be a bit innovative and give me a percentage of that buyer fee as an incentive to do a good sale. Maybe if I got good feedback from that buyer, they might then give me some of that money. There's lots of ways how this could play out. In my personal opinion, I would love eBay to scrap all business fees, just like they've done with the private sellers. Bring it back onto a level playing field, replace those fees with a buyer fee instead. Everyone's on the same page. Guys, if you enjoy eBay content or reselling content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be really interested to see what all your comments are about this. Be interested to see how this plays out.